Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the VR League Recap Show. We are live here from the ESL studios in Cologne, and this show is brought to you by Intel. On today's show, we're going to be going over the VR Master League action that happened over the past week, along with some of the action that's going to be coming up this week. We take a quick look back at the Echo Arena Invitational that we had a few weeks back in Leicester, England, and as well, we take a quick peek at the Stage 2 finals for Echo Arena leading up to the main event, the VR League finals, in a few months. All that and more is coming up in just a little bit. And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the VR League Recap Show. We're going to be starting off today talking about our VR Master League coverage, and joining me to discuss that, of course, is going to be.
I just love like the beginning of the show. It's just kind of like it's just blue. It's just the blue show, and then randomly I decided to bring Jason in. Help him out a little bit.
We brought him in from the back there. He's going to be helping us out for the show today. So how you doing?
Doing good. I'm doing good. Actually excited. It's the first time we're getting to do a recap show, so it's nice to kind of review what we've already done in the past weeks, as we'll get to revisit some of the games and some of the exciting matches we've had, especially at the UK Invitational for Echo Arena.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit, folks. But first, once again, we do have to go over the action that we had just last week in the VR Master League. We started things off, of course, with our first game. All right, we had a European matchup that went on between the teams that were at the time tied, of course, for second place, and that was Boss Fight versus Lemon Squad. And we also had our North American matchup. It was Globochem, the defending champions from the Onward Invitational that we had a little over a month ago out of the Leicester studio, and they were going up against the Danglers, who were a few spots below them in the rankings, trying to contest a little bit.
So for me personally, I like the Globochem match the most, just based off the fact I like to see some of the best players in the game actually play, because you get to see like the highest level of skill that's available in the game at the moment, and we also got to see some difference in play styles out of them, being a lot more aggressive in times when we've seen other teams be a little bit more passive. And then of course Otto on the team really stood out to me, hitting some like really sick long range shots on Quarantine in that first map they did have.
Well, we are going to take a look, by the way, folks, at some of the recap from that matchup now, along with some action from our other game too.
A warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the VR League Echo Arena Invitational. It will be Blast going up against 11.5, and it's a big moment because the winner of this does move on to the winner bracket final.
Back everyone to some more VR action. This is the VR League brought to you by Intel.
We are pretty much ready to go with our first map. Once again, for those of you who are just joining us, it's the Lemon Squad versus Boss Fight. In fact, it does look like that he's not going to be able to maintain himself, but Lego rounded around the corner right now, gets a shot right to his back.
He's spotted. He has to be spotted. There's no way you didn't see that.
He's fired out shots now, so definitely he's been seen at this point. Just takes him down outright, and now all of a sudden this has been brought down to a 1v1.
But that will be Lemon Squad finally putting a round on the board here. Most importantly,
there we go. Boss Fight pick it up now. And are going to be able to take things 4-1.
Anyways, here we go. Kicking off our second map. Remember, it's a best of 7 here on Bazaar. Boss Fight currently winning 1-0 in maps. Yeah, he's above him. He drops down behind them. Is anyone going to notice it? No. Oh, yes, they do. They actually get the 1-for-1 trade there.
And there we go. There's the spot. I think both of them spot him at the exact same time, actually. So Lemon Squad knock out that last man from Boss Fight. And with that, they're going to be able to take control of the opening round. Just going to make a move. Oh, look at that. Runs right up and takes them both out. Beautiful moves from Scorpio.
Yeah, just get right behind him. Look at that. He sticks through.
Still sat behind because he knows he can hear this last man from Lemon Squad. Moves in, and it's very close, but it looks like Boss Fight will take the credit first.
Well, that's going to be it. That's going to be the final frag coming through. That will be Boss Fight taking the map, taking the series technically, and now looking for that final map here in the best of 3.
Yep, there we go. Baikinos is going to run directly around to his left side and take him down quite easily, limiting Boss Fight's potential even more here now as they're just down to 2.
And he's just going to push out. He's trying to get aggressive.
Maybe trying to rush
look
up.
at that.
Gets
All
the
right.
pickup as well, even inside of the smoke. And now he's got it obscured. He's going to be able to take the house.
What's he going to do? He gets around the side.
With that, Lemon Squad will once again take control. And Lemon Squad will pick up their 4th and final round to take control of the map and overall end the series 2-1. Still very much in the favor of Boss Fight.
We have Danglers up against Global Chem as our final match of the day.
Oh, look at this. Look at this from Arsenic.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Very careful if someone's on the other side of this truck at the same time.
He's lying down right now. Oh, my Lord, what a play.
Get your gun ready to go there, Arsenic.
I think they know where he is, too.
He's right here. He's going to try to make a quick move to pick up a kill, but it won't work out. He'll go down, and Global Chem will take the map now. A final score of 4-1. Otto's going to make another push right up to the side of him. I think you can shoot through these hedges, but he's going to try to wrap back around to get a cleaner shot against him anyway. Hesitating, though, when that opportunity finally presents itself. He can't knock him out so easily. Both will end up getting traded.
Also, the second player, if he can get the shot, it'd be huge.
There we go. Nicely done by Toast, clutching in the 1v2 situation, giving the round over to Global Chem, along with a flawless map.
Otto, he's going to hit him into the left. He pushes around the corner. That's a great frag coming through. Great timing as well. Blood, and he's getting it.
He's got another fight coming his way here in a second, too. I can't tell if he can see that player or not just yet. No, he didn't see him.
All right, that's 3 down. It's going to be 2-on-5 within the first 17 seconds.
Knew exactly how far to push themselves and executed upon that brilliantly. I mean, even another player here for the Danglers is going to be caught off guard. Global Chem will take it with that, ladies and gentlemen. It goes the full distance, the full 7 rounds. However, Global Chem, the global champions, still take control of it. At 4-3, they'll take the map and a 3-0 series with that to close out the day here.
Thank you guys again for joining us. We hope to see you guys next time and hope you have a great night.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our matches from last week ending up going 2-1 to Boss Fight and 3-0 to Global Chem. I think overall, things going pretty much as expected in those matchups, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say before we get into this, that man on the right looked really handsome in that blue shirt. Whoever was doing that right there, he looked great. Yeah, no, it was actually interesting games. Again, Global Chem, for me, that match was really important to see, especially when we got to Cargo, because we did see them be super aggressive in the first 2 rounds. And then once they tried aggression the next time when they were attacking, they actually got shut down and they had to change up their style really heavily to be able to take that map into victory. But they won 3-0. Again, they're the best team in the world at the moment for exact reasons as we saw in that matchup, and they maintain that #1 position.
I think it was cool as well because that was like our first deep dive into Onward, and it was cool to see kind of the varied play styles on the map. Something you don't necessarily get in a lot of different games. And we had some maps that were like these really long, drawn-out rounds with massive setups that needed to take multiple minutes to actually get into an execution. And then, of course, we had the Cargo map at the end there where teams were just going directly at each other, and in some instances, straight up rushing each other. So that was very cool to see.
And the flanks as well. Like on Quarantine, we had that happen so often. I think almost almost every team went for these awkward little flanking routes, like really far south or really far north, to catch teams off guard. But they always seem to be aware to it, the defending team having a player in those general directions to spot it out, or even they themselves would actually get aggressive against them and try to catch them off guard.
Well, guys, there is going to be more action coming up this week. And in fact, I think tonight, actually, for the VR Master League, you guys can catch some of the upcoming games. Specifically, the match that's going to be coming up tonight will be Silent Purge going up against the Spanish Bull Unit. And you can catch that in just a little bit at 9 p.m. CEST. That match is going to be going on. So be sure not to miss it and be sure to catch all of the action. And if you guys are interested in finding out more about the VR Master League, be sure to head over to the website over at vrmasterleague.com/onward. You want to tell the folks at home a little bit about what they can do on the website?
Well, there's quite a few things they can do. They're not only limited just to Onward. You got Pavlov there, you have Beat Saber, which was recently introduced, but you can obviously find out teams who are recruiting. You can also join the Discord through that website to find people to play with, get some experience, to talk to the pro players, to maybe learn about how to actually play Onward a little bit better, or obviously any of the other games they have, and then get to compete. Each week they'll draw you a new team you're playing against. You play that match, and then based off of how well you beat them or how badly you lose, your MMR will change according to that. And obviously, the big competition ends once they do have the finals kick off.
Very much a living, breathing ladder, and we'll be following that closely as the action of the VR League and the VR Master League continues onward. That does it for Onward for now, though, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a short break, and when we do come back, it's time to switch things up and head over to Echo Arena to see what's been going on there in the past couple of weeks.
We are back. We are legendary. We are passionate. We are Cologne.
The strike comes in for rain!
We are one.
Try box. Stairs.
Nothing great ever happened without a witness.
Oh, you guys saw that?
With the power to capture comes the need to share.
Check this.
Followed by the eyeballs and loud mouths chomping at the bit.
That was nuts.
The fate of the game rests in your hands.
Check this out. No.
Oh my god.
Leave nothing to chance. Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the VR League recap show live here from the ESL studios in Cologne. Joined once again as well by Jason Kaplan over here. We're moving on now, ladies and gentlemen. What?
Can't get rid of me.
No.
Can't get rid of me.
You're stuck
next
here.
Month and a half.
Yeah,
you're stuck with me.
You're stuck with us.
Yeah.
Us and the production crew
I can say
diligently.
it's a bad thing. Like,
Well, I mean, you said stuck first, I think, didn't you?
yeah, but you didn't have to go on with it. Let's say no. Yeah, we're
I
stuck
was just
with
playing
you.
off that.
Anyways.
Moving on swiftly to our next segment here, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to talk a little bit about the Echo Arena Invitational, which we had going on over at our Leicester studio in the UK a couple of weeks back. And we had quite a bit of exciting action. We can start things off by taking a look at our bracket to start off the event and all the teams that we had here. Going into it, what were your expectations for the event?
I actually don't know what I really expected coming into it. To be fair, the double elimination 8-team tournament, we had 4 teams, 4 of the best teams from North America up against 4 of the best teams from Europe. I was hoping to see a lot of close matches, which I luckily was rewarded with, and luckily a lot of the viewers as well at home were rewarded with that. But the real heavy hitter coming to the entire tournament, it was Eclipse. I mean, they've won basically everything. They won Oculus Connect 4 last year. So they're definitely going to be the team to beat the entire way through. And we also have to see a lot of other teams as well, because right before this, we actually had the Stage 2 finals, which we'll get into in a little bit of time. And we got to see some of the teams before we even had this one take place. It was really cool to see how they progressed through this bracket versus how they did before.
We had a nice little online primer. And the big thing for me was seeing if we would actually have a team successfully challenge Eclipse properly. And we can take a look now, ladies and gentlemen, at the recap footage and see just how they might have been challenged at that event.
A warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the VR League Echo Arena Invitational. It will be Blast going up against 11.5, and it's a big moment because the winner of this does move on to the winner bracket final. Take it away, gentlemen.
50 seconds to go on the clock, but 11.5, they're the ones against it with the back to the wall. They're the ones that have to score, and they might be able to do it just here, and finally coming in from behind the goal. Witt will score again, and now 11.5 taking the lead another time.
They take the first round at 8-7 and go up 1-0 in the series. They do, however, have to be careful, as once again, Boop's just going to come directly another 1v1 versus Dash. One more round will decide who moves on here in the upper bracket and who will be moving down into the lowers. Oh, that's going to be a little bit hard for Witt. He does get the clear off. Oh, and it's right into Loveridge's hands as well. He's going to go for a goal off of this. Safe to call this one now into the favor of 11.5. They even try to set up for one more goal, but they won't make that. But they will take the series with 13-9 being the final score from our third round.
Well, we are ready to get into our second series of the day. Eclipse goes up against Metamercs. Take it away, gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much. So let's jump into it now and see which of our next teams is going to be moving forward into the winner's bracket grand final. 30 seconds left on the clock. Simeon is going to be moving in, and with good positioning and a good launch, we'll be able to secure another three-pointer for Eclipse.
And you would imagine that's just going to be the end of the round here.
It's going to be rough to get it through this massive bulge of players, though, from both teams. Everybody just grouping up right there, looking for control of the disc. But at the end of the day, Eclipse will somehow secure it. I don't even know if that was intentional or not, but it goes in, and it's a three-pointer for them as well. So with the time going down, a nice block from Strembitsky, yes, but it will still be just delaying the inevitable. 7-2 is the final score of our second round.
It looks like Aftershock on the blue side. Omegator's going to be on the orange.
Clear once more, sending it very, very close to Omega Tours' goal here, and this is not going to be good because they have no one back there, so it's just an open field. Aftershock will take round number 1 with a final score of 7-2. He's got an open door. There we go. The wide swing, and they cannot beat it. So Aftershock steal a three-pointer out of absolutely nowhere. 10-6 scoreline. Aftershock will take control of this series 2-0 by claiming the second round in dominant fashion.
Going to be Boost going up against Gravity in the lower bracket.
Gravity get themselves a nice clear. They're going to try to secure it as well. Viatrek sneaks it right past Sundance and secure the first round for Gravity.
And now going into the second round, Gravity winning 1-0 so far.
Oh, and Martin coming out of nowhere with this one as well. Steals it right away. Gets him a 1v1 versus the goalie. Makes it past him and secures a 9th point now for Gravity on our second round, and a 2-0 overall for the series.
Let's do it. Metamercs go up against Aftershock here in an elimination match in the league.
It's a nice little forward pass to Fairenough. He's coming in from the lower hand side. Gets a pass back on to Speedy, who passes back to Strembitsky, looking for the shot. Here he comes in and just slam dunks it in. That's going to tie things up here between the two teams.
Once again, going over to Aftershock here right now. Tortobot doesn't have a clean shot just yet, so he's going to pass it one more time. They won't go directly in for the stun, but regardless, it goes in anyway, and Aftershock respond right back after the Metamercs had just tied things.
This is going to be a guaranteed 3 points. And there you go. Aftershock lengthening the lead even further. And Aftershock, well, they will be able to take this first round here, this best of 3. Remember, the loser will be going home. Slowing this down a little bit more, trying to bait the defenders. Slyn gets pushed in, gets punched out. Now it's a one-on-one. Goes off the backboard, and Fairenough scores again. Aftershock, can they pull this one back? Or we'll be going to a match number 3 between the two.
There's a goal opportunity. He's going to get close, and it's another goal from Aftershock this time. A 2-pointer will net them the lead, and that settles it, ladies and gentlemen. Aftershock with a 5-4 lead. Take the second round and a 2-0 advantage.
Yes, it's time for the game. The last series of the day. Blast goes against Gravity.
Goes for the long shot.
And it's in. And there we go, yep. Blast will take dominant control of the opening round of the series here. 16-3 being our final score. So guys, second round will be getting started here in a second.
Gravity have adapted their style. They start to clump up a little bit more to make sure the shots work. They actually get ahead of the defense. Boop isn't going to be there again, and that's going to tie things up. What is going on?
We're going to overtime. Gravity
Gravity gonna go for a quick two-pointer, and they've got it. They're gonna celebrate. They're gonna dig it a little bit before they send it in, but Gravity will take the second round, 13-11 being the final score. And we are tied 1-1 to go to a third round to settle it.
They need to score. They need to score soon. 30 seconds left to go. They need to make a play happen because they have to do it twice. A three-pointer would be great. A two will guarantee you some sort of chance to get back into this one. They fought the shot, but it comes in, it bounced off the ground. And there's only 5 seconds left.
So with that, our European team instead will be taking control of this matchup, moving forward further into the event.
They played Half-World. I really like playing those. It's like heaven.
And you can see here now, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring it back, the bracket after the end of day one, things seem to be going relatively according to plan, or according to the rankings leading up to that point, with teams like Eclipse and 11.5 hailing from the North American region, making it all the way to the winners bracket final at the conclusion of the first day.
Well, as you mentioned, we wanted to see Eclipse challenge throughout that tournament, at least in the first day, and we didn't see it at all. No team was able to put up any real consistent scores against them. Some teams even lost without scoring a single goal. For me, also seeing Blast, who was the #1 seeded European team, come into this, being knocked into the loser bracket day one by 11.5 was kind of concerning. You know, you wanted to see Europe's best have a chance to compete against the best of NA, and then losing to the ranked 2 team is not how you want to start things off. But they did fight their way back. They actually made their way back into the third round of the loser bracket. Also seeing Metamercs kind of dropped out there earlier on. Considering how well we saw them play technically the week before this in the Stage 2 finals, which again we'll get to later on today, seeing them drop early was a little bit of a, I guess, a disappointment for me and for them.
Yeah, we had newer teams showing up to the scene as well, which is always nice to see in these VR games. Teams like Boost stepped up to the plate for their first time. Unfortunately, weren't able to put up much of a fight and ended up getting knocked out relatively swiftly, but it's still great to see these new faces showing up on the scene, and more importantly, getting some good chances on land to be able to practice against teams from the opposite region and hopefully hone their skills for the next LAN that should be coming up pretty soon, right around the corner.
Yeah, hopefully sooner than later. I know they have the North American World qualifiers to come up after the Stage 3 qualifiers do happen. Then we also have the Last Chance qualifier as well. And then all leading up to Oculus Connect at the end of September is going to be really exciting to see. Well, again, the question of, can a team beat Eclipse?
Yeah, and that pretty much remained the question as we headed into day number 2 as well. Was anyone going to be able to take them down? And more importantly, were we going to be able to see a European team finally challenge the North American side, be able to take the crown away from them? That, of course, being a bit of a grudge match that hailed all the way back to the Season 1 finals. Let's take a look now at day number 2 and see how things played out there.
A warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day number 2 here of the VR League for Echo Arena as we get into it. The upper bracket final here between Eclipse and 11.5 to go to the grand final.
And look at this, the goal's completely open, and that's an easy three-pointer by Palador.
Eclipse will take the first round now with a 12-4 scoreline. They now lead 1-0.
Dash trying to come in from the side, still looking for the shot. Here's gonna be Simon, and he gets on the low-hand side.
Eclipse, ladies and gentlemen, will be moving on into the grand finals of the Invitational. And for 11.5, it's not going to be done just yet, but they now have to fight to come back in the grand finals in the lower bracket.
I feel like as long as we're playing our game, nobody can touch us.
This match will determine who is going home in 4th place and who keeps themselves alive in the lower bracket. Blast goes up against Aftershock in his best of 3.
30 seconds left to go here, Blue, and Blast only have a 2-point lead.
There's the opportunity, but no, they pass over to Slender, try and go for a three-pointer. It won't work out. Aftershock saved it, but no, there is a goal. After all, it's Aftershock's tutorial bot that sinks it in with only 11 seconds left to tie it up at 2-2. Overtime has been triggered, and we'll use that to settle this opening round.
They have a 3-on-2. Tutorial bot's not here to be seen. It's gonna be the pass coming in towards the left-hand side. Boop can actually pass it back off to Affentera. Back to Boop again. Can he get the shot? And there it is. Boop coming in with the handling skills. Blast will take the first round.
Matty again, yes! He's done it once more, and now Aftershock have a massive lead at 8-2. Oh, what is that? A massive shot from Boop. So Affentera just sends it loose, tries to go for a bounce to the backboard. No, Boop's here, so here comes Blast once again. A 2-pointer for them, and they are right behind Aftershock. Blast is now going to send it back through the middle.
Oh, they're going to have the speed. Will they be able to beat out the 3-man team? Looks like Tutorial Bot will actually be able to let it, but no! Oh my god, Boop!
And that 2-pointer will put Blast ahead here now.
We're on the podium now. 3 teams remain, so we get to crown who is third, second, and first in our next 2 series. This is the lower bracket final. One of these teams will claim at least second place.
As they flip it out into the open, and we are going to see Affentera look for even more security as he locks in for another 2-pointer for Blast. 1 more to go, however, as round 1 concludes with a final score of 14-7 in the favor of Blast. Boop gives him possession once again. Lone Gecko will pick it up inside of the bubble. He doesn't want to stay in there, though. Trying to line up a 3-pointer if at all possible, but no, we'll sneak around the backside and secure another 2-pointer for Blast. Our European team will come out on top of this series, moving them on into the grand finals versus Eclipse.
And there we go, the countdown has begun. This is the grand final here. It's Eclipse going up against Blast. Let's get it done.
Will pick up the disc, moving in. He has to go up against Simeon inside of the goal. He's got Palador sneaking up. Goes for the pass instead over to Affentera. Loops it around and sends it in. Blast are already celebrating as they take round number 1 of the opening best of 3 of this grand finals. But remember, they're coming in from the lower bracket, so they need to do it 2 times in a row. Stuns back and forth, but now they're going to be moving in. It's inside of Eclipse's zone. Once again, a chance for Affentera to secure another 2-pointer, and he does it once again. Blast, ladies and gentlemen, will take control of the opening series 2-0 over the crowning champions of Season 1 of the VR League, and after face off in a whole new best of 3 against them once more.
It's time to get into it. This is the extended match. This is for all the marbles, the best of 3. Eclipse goes up against Blast.
And there's just no physical way that Eclipse can come back into this now.
Come on.
No, Blast, you can't do this. The shot inside. Lone Gecko swoops it right in. And Blast do push up to the lucky 21 now. So here we go, folks. Blast set up now. 1-0 over Eclipse. So I think it's a safe bet now to say Eclipse will more than likely be taking control of this second round. And even better, they'll score another 2-pointer just to lock it in.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The final round of the entire tournament all lays on this. Seconds left to go here, Blue. They need to get this ball across the court. They need to get this in the goal, and they need to do it now.
The rapid clear takes it over.
What was that? What? 62 meters! To get the disc, they're able to slingshot back in time, and he goes for 3-pointer, he gets it, and that's almost the nail in the coffin.
Less than 2 seconds. Eclipse know they've got it, and it's certain now. 12-11 is the final score of the final round of the repeated series, and Eclipse claim the championship once again here at the VR League Echo Arena Invitational.
And so there we had it, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the bracket. Eclipse, the repeat champions, showing up once again now from the Season 1 finals, or at least 2/3 of the repeat champions, managed to make it all the way once again, defeating Blast, the #1 seed from Europe, in the grand finals.
Blast ran it back. They got knocked out by 11.5 on day 1. Then they met against them in a loser bracket final and then beat them in a swift 2-0. It was nice to see them to be able to recoup from what happened the day before. But let's be honest, Blue, when you see Blast take a 2-0 in the first series against Eclipse, I thought it was over. I was like, there's no way Eclipse is going to win this. And then they win the first map of the second series in such a heavily handed fashion. I was like, okay, it's over. There's like, how do you come back for that? And yet they let it slip in the nick of time at the very end, losing the last 2 maps to allow Eclipse to take the victory.
There seemed to be a very clutch, like last moment technical pause that we saw the guys from Eclipse go for, and that not only gave them a time to like take a back seat for a moment, it just obviously get some energy back. We again have to remind you folks, if you don't watch VR games regularly, these games are very physical, so it does take a lot of energy out of the players, especially when you're playing an extended series as these players did. But it also, I think, allowed them to get together for a moment and have a little bit of a mental reset. And then when they came back in, they were much stronger, much more certain about what they wanted to aim to do in the game. And with that, those second two rounds ended up going much more dominantly in their favor. At least the second one did. Obviously, the third one, as you saw there in the recap video, ended up being quite the nail biter. But at the end of the day, the NA champions reign supreme once again.
And seeing Affentera's like 62-meter shot at the end, that like it wasn't even a shot. It was like a clear. It's like, all right, I'm gonna get rid of the disc. I'm gonna throw it to the other side, and then hope we can get there in time. Then he banks it in and actually puts him within a 1-point difference of potentially, taking the entire map and taking the entire series. A lot of great plays actually over the course of the entire event. It was really cool to see that, and really cool to actually experience, Echo Arena in person instead of just doing it online from here.
It was a great event overall, I think, just for Affentera. As we talk about him and the rest of the Blast roster, I'm really excited now to see what's going to be happening as we get closer and closer to the VR League finals that are going to be going on at Oculus Connect 5 in just a couple of months from now. So that's going to be really cool to see, and hopefully we get that rematch once again. Maybe not not in the grand finals. Maybe we have another surprise team showing up. But if it was, I wouldn't necessarily complain, as we had a great series there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be disappointed at all.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the discussion now here for the Echo Arena Invitational. But do stick with us, as we're going to be coming back in just a couple of minutes to talk about the Stage 2 finals for Echo Arena that we had at the beginning of this month.
We are back. We are legendary. We are passionate. We are Cologne.
The strike comes in for rain!
We are one.
Try box. Stairs, stairs, stairs.
Nothing great ever happened without a witness.
Oh, you guys saw that?
With the power to capture comes the need to share.
Check this.
Followed by the eyeballs and loud mouths chomping at the bit.
That was nuts.
The fate of the game rests in your hands.
Check this out. No.
Oh my.
Leave nothing to chance. Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's the VR League recap show live here from the ESL studios in Cologne. It's time to move on to our last segment of the day, where we're going to be talking about the Stage 2 finals for North America in Echo Arena. And we get to talk about all those teams that we just saw at the Invitational and how they fared in the Online Cup, vying to qualify for the regionals, which will eventually lead into the VR League finals at Oculus Connect.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because we got to cast the Stage 2 finals before the Invitational happened, right? So we got to see these North American teams play before we actually had them get to see them play in person on LAN. And it was kind of weird to see in how this whole bracket turned out, of like how things were kind of swapped around in terms of standings, because, well, I don't want to spoil it just yet because we have obviously a video to look at how the whole tournament went, but it was weird to see that like some of the ranked teams actually get further than teams who are ranked higher than them, and then fail to do so when we got to the Invitational.
Yeah, it's odd, of course, because I think Echo Arena is one of those games where LAN play and online play have like a very huge difference in like how exactly they play. It's a lot like Counter-Strike in that aspect, actually. I think where like LAN games are considered on a much higher tier than online games are.
So any esport game ever to
pretty
exist.
much, yeah. I know, like
where there's no ping involved.
I know, like
that's how you know.
I know, like for like MOBAs and stuff like that, ping is not like as big of a deal as more like
MOBAs?
I don't play MOBAs that much,
Then you
so, to be
can't say
fair.
that,
So.
sir.
But I know you can like play a MOBA with like 150 ping and still be somewhat responsive.
Not at a high level. No, that's like saying you could play Counter-Strike with one eye and a broken mouse.
Calm down. I'll withdraw that statement then for lack of experience.
Any game
I'll
you play
apologize for
online
that.
is going to be way different than when you're playing in person online.
Very true.
With no ping involved.
And we did
Unless it's chess, then I guess you don't really need to have a difference. I guess you take it more seriously when you're in person than you would online.
It's true.
But there's no like reaction time that you need
more
to...
pressure. It's more pressure.
It's true. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Well, after that, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at some of the action that we did have back at the Stage 2 finals, like we said, just happening a few weeks back, as North American teams vied to qualify for the regionals.
Welcome back to the VR League, brought to you by Intel, live here from our ESL Cologne studios. We have our first one. It's going to be Eclipse, like you mentioned. up against Boost Junkies.
Boost Junkies have more speed, or they got a re-grab or something like that, so it's going to be a little bit awkward here. Palador is able to steal possession once again, and their open goal post is going to go right over to Simeon and inside of the goal. And again, domination continues for these guys. They now lead 12-0 over the Boost Junkies in the second round. Nice little boost is going to go off here. It should get Rocks Titan back over to the goal in time. They're having to play super defensively. Even Z was in the goal. They had two goalies, basically. Their goalie's out for the count now, so they've got to send Z back down to defend it, but once again, it's unsuccessful. The Clips do take it in dominant fashion at 19-0, meaning they take the match as well, 2-0.
The Boost Junkies up against Titan.
Well,
all right.
There you go. Boost Junkies are going to be able to sink it in. Really quick setup that happened there for Boost Junkies. Very nice job by them. And with that, like I said before, they're going to be able to secure the first map of the series. With that, it's another shot from the upside, secure them another 2-pointer, and re-secure a 4-point lead for them. The 14-10 scoreline Titan are going to be able to take it over the Boost Junkies.
Yeah, so that means we're going to a third map now.
Oh, and another nice one coming out from Titan there. Quick clear for them to get over to their side, and Boost Junkies aren't even able to react to that. It goes in so quick. Titan do have it secure, ladies and gentlemen. 15-7, our final round goes to them, and they'll secure the series at 2-1, moving them forward to face off against the Metamercs, and sadly, eliminating the Boost Junkies from this final. There is still a chance for the Metamercs to come back in if they sneak in a goal in these last 40 seconds.
Trubisky immediately goes for the clear. They realize they're not on a lot of time. Look how far, look how aggressive Speed he's got. Little to his name, and the 3-pointer from downtown.
And the Metamercs, with a close last-minute goal, managed to secure themselves a lead at 11-9, and with that, take control of the opening round. So they're now leading at 1-0. And it's not Sprembinski, but it's another 3-pointer from the Metamercs, as Speedy is the one to sink it this time. And the Metamercs will take control because of that. The 2-0 lead, they'll be moving on to the next stage of the tournament.
Hey, we are live. We're into the game. But it's going to be Eclipse.
What was that?
Against 11.5. Eclipse on the blue side have already scored.
We do not have a clear front runner here by any means. Once again, 11.5 gets a good 2-second head start inside of the 3-point bubble and gives them another free goal. So they're going to be able to secure another one. 11.5 will take control at the end of our first round. Palador gets a nice little clear for himself to send it back over to the orange goal. They might actually score again. Yeah, they do, with about 2.5 seconds left on the clock. All right, guys, well, we are in the third round. Remember, winner of this one moves on into the grand finals.
Dash XL's ahead of him. We just get the pass off, but no. Simeon, he's got the long wingspan to pick up that disc, to throw it back across the field, and potentially get in the hands of Palador, who actually does not secure it. But it's going to be Lemmy, and it's going to be another 3 points on the board. Such a crazy little back and forth between the two teams, but with 19 seconds left to go, Eclipse have the lead. Winner of this game goes through into the world qualifier. Loser gets knocked out. So, oh, what? They forgot the disc. Hello, team?
Oh, someone missed the grab.
Oh,
no!
Speedy!
Speedy once again is going to be your front runner here for the Metamercs. Gets himself to the other side, capitalizes on what I think was a missed grab from 11.5. Now they've got a triangle they can try to work with here to score quickly, but it's only going to be a 2-pointer. That's the problem. Metamercs, a bit of a surprise, will be taking this opening round. Second round getting started now. Metamercs at the moment, it's kind of dominating 11.5. That's going to immediately change, though. A great pass. 5-7-4 is the final scoreline for our second round. And with that, they take it 2-0, pushing them onward to the grand finals to face off versus the Clips and qualifying them for the regional.
To see who's going to be able to take this first round here in this best of 3.
So Eclipse, yeah, there we go. Same problem again. Immediately stealing it back. Palador's got control. He goes for the long-range shot, and it connects. The Clips, I think we can safely say at this point, will be taking control of the first round of the grand finals here. 15-4 will be the final score, and they're now only 1 away from being able to be our winner for today's tournament.
Chain grabs across the entire arena. It's going to favor the blue side. Eclipse, they got it, but they missed, like you mentioned, the disc.
Lemming still going to be able to get it, and now he gets himself a 1v1 versus Fair Enough, which he will win, secures it. It's a slam dunk to push them ahead. 4-2 lead. Eclipse will take control of this final round, and with that, take the series in a 2-0 fashion, making them their winner of tonight's stage finals. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your results, or those are your recap, I should say, from the Stage 2 finals that we had a few weeks ago. Results, however, as we lead into them, I think, again, things going pretty much as expected in that tournament with teams like Eclipse at 11.5, the front runners for North America, very much leading the charge and taking first and second place at that stage finals.
See, no, actually, it was Metamercs that got second place.
That's right.
That's why I've been trying to lead into this whole show as saying something surprising happened, considering we expected Metamercs to get further in the Invitational because they got second place in the Stage 2 finals, where in reality they got knocked out by Eclipse in the second round of the winner bracket, and then they lost in the second round of the loser bracket to Aftershock. So a little bit disappointing in terms of that result that we did see there. But of course, as you guys obviously saw through that video, Eclipse did take the victory, and it wasn't really even close for them. I guess the only match that was close, as you can see, was the game versus 11.5. But then we saw Eclipse play them at the Invitational. It wasn't even a match for them. I think it felt like they could have been sleeping and still won.
Yeah, I think at that point, well, it really came down to the fact that like Eclipse, as we should mention, as going into the Stage 2 finals that they did play in it, they had already qualified back at the Stage 1 finals. So considering that might have kind of led into why we saw them maybe not taking out as dominant over for it. Still, at the end of the day, they took it handily in the prize money that came with it.
And what's great about this is that was only the Stage 2 finals. We still have Stage 2 to come up. And then, of course, since this is all leading up to the Oculus Connect Grand Finals, we still have a last chance qualifier as well. So if you guys are actually interested in signing up and participating in Echo Arena, just head over to vr.eslgaming.com. You can still sign up now, and you still have a chance to potentially get yourself through into the NA or EU regional qualifiers.
Very much so. And you'll find all the information you need, ladies and gentlemen, on how to actually sign up for that over on the website. Our website should be very helpful in giving you information on how to get signed up, how to start a team, or how to join a team that you're still started. Don't forget to check out the community Discord and all that as well. This will be very helpful in helping you get up to speed with some of the action that's going to be going on there. We do want to close out the day, though, ladies and gentlemen, with a quick interview that we had one of our community members do. Hasco was interviewing Fair Enough and Speedy. So let's take a quick look at that.
Yeah, how do you guys do?
Good brawling.
How do you guys strategize as a team for your positioning? I mean,
it's mostly just. I mean, we've been all play this game for so long that it's just freestyle for the most part. Like, we'll talk through things when we expect one of our teammates to do something and they did something different, and be like, "Well, what were you planning on doing?"
Oh,
and
good.
Come up with some things like that, and then occasionally we'll have strategy, like practice sessions where we'll actually go through and talk about strategy and stuff like that. But
yeah, we try to
so these days, more so before the season started when we were trying to get in sync.
But it's more
we're trying to come up with new things.
But you're saying in general you use a lot of intuition just from playing with each other regularly.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
and there's
great.
a lot of communication. We try to communicate a lot when we're playing. There's constant talking.
Huge. Yeah, because you only have the small field of view that you can see from, and there's so much stuff happening behind you.
Yeah.
So
right.
If you're getting near the disc or you're on the disc, you need your teammates to really be your third set of eyes behind you, just sitting there and telling you how much time you have, where to pass the ball, when to take a shot, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, you think you're open, you're like, pass to me, I'm open, but you got someone right on your back. And the other person's like, you're not open.
right.
Yeah, that's the tricky part with that. It's easy to over communicate, then everyone's yelling over each other. So there's some kind of balance with the communication too. Like you want to be able to do it really efficiently and make sure that everyone understands what you're saying and you're in line, have the same type of things. The same type of words that you're using.
Yeah, I mean, you have to trust each other.
Sure,
if you don't, then you probably shouldn't be on the same team together.
That's why I like playing with a team more than playing in a public game. Like I still like public games, but it's such a different thing. You don't know the people you're playing with. You don't know what they're gonna do. Everything's like everyone's out there for themselves.
Right, and it's a much slower.
You know what everyone's doing. Yeah,
and don't you think it's a much slower atmosphere? It's not just different in terms of relationships with the teammates, but it's also I think when people just start ESL and they're doing it for the first time, they're it's kind of like a deer in the headlights kind of thing. They're like, whoa, they don't realize how fast paced it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's tiers of speed and quickness within ESL itself. Like we were just playing Eclipse last night a lot, and when you play against them, you have to be fast at everything you do because they're not going to give you any time for anything. You never have any time against Eclipse. So
and we're constantly in those games where we're like, hype, energy, run in place, go, get ready.
Right. Yeah, you got to be. That's the problem. You get a little tired and you get a little slow, then you're going to get destroyed by them.
Yeah,
right.
You have to be. Like the advantage of practicing, even, like when you're not doing well against them, we weren't doing particularly well against them last night, is that, you get used to playing at that speed and then you go play against just an average ESL team and it makes it so much easier.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think that was a very interesting video. Never seen an interview done in VR before, like in game. So I thought that was, I think that was very, very cool.
I like seeing, the hand movements as well when he's talking, because obviously you do that in person, right? You talk with your hands. It's cool.
You wouldn't think of like that being a thing in VR, but now it's actually quite interesting. I'm kind of curious to see more of
I
that
want to
now.
set up like my own like in VR chat, set up like my own studio and do interviews there.
Do like a talk show, right?
Do like a talk. That would be pretty cool, actually.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
That's not bad.
Maybe onto something. We'll
Set
talk
up
about
Patreon
that
or something, get going. Who knows? But yeah, if you want to obviously check out more of her videos, just head over to her on YouTube. It's Hasco7, and make sure to check out what else she does bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with videos like that, you definitely want to go head over and check it out. But that will do it for us here today at the studio. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, very much for tuning in. We do want to remind you one more time that all this action has been brought to you by Intel, so a big thanks to them. But that will close out our show. So from here at the ESL Studios in Cologne, we hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next Sunday for more VR League action.